Okay, so it's finally time to head to the roof. I need to get my team in order first, though. I'm probably going to want a sleep user in the front of the team. Let's see if past me... Yes, he's decided to do that. Okay, that's good. Because we're going to be facing 2 fights in a row here. Both of them have Shadow Pokemon, and one of them can be a pretty tricky snag. Also, there's a guy over there. Let's ignore him for the time being. Or let's not ignore him. Let's talk to him. Yes, I'm totally one of you. Yeah, I'm on your side. Yep. Totally not here just to take your Shadow Pokemon. And yeah, we can see the Colosseum and the guy down there from looking across there, so that's a pretty nice touch. But yeah, once again, Silver has got himself into a bad situation. Yeah, this is what happens when you run into a criminal lair on your own. Leave that to us, please. And once again, we get confirmation that they took G-King's Pokemon hostage. But it's time to deal with these two. And we're thrust into a battle immediately. So yeah, make sure you're fully healed and prepared before you go here. So, Pyrite Bldg, I think it's Reth, because her Japanese name is literally breath. So, her name is probably based on the word breath. So, facing off against her, you might have noticed something a little bit suspicious about one of her Pokemon's levels. And it's something quite annoying. That Remoraid is a Shadow Pokemon. The problem is, it's only level 20, making it vastly weaker than anything we have at this point in the game. You need to be very careful, and I would highly recommend do not attack that Remoraid at all. It actually has a very high catch rate, so you're quite likely to catch it right off the bat if you just throw a Pokeball. But just to be safe, I think I'm gonna... No, don't even think about Shadow Rushing it. I think I'm gonna Sleep Powder it. But yeah, this is another Shadow Pokemon that I missed on my first ever playthrough of this game, because it's very, very easy to do so. It's very, very fragile, and, seriously, don't attack this Remoraid. And of course, I'd miss Sleep Powder. And that's not good. If that's targeting Skiploom, yes it is, that's a double super effective, except it's not going to KO because this Remoraid is pathetic. And the amazing Flying Spider. I'm just going to ignore that Spinarak for the time being. It's probably not going to be doing much. Really, I just want to either catch or Sleep Powder this Remoraid. Just do not... Please tell me I didn't Shadow Rush it. Yeah, sometimes it's hard to see the position of the cursor with how I'm watching these videos. But I really hope I didn't try and Shadow Rush it. 1. Nope. Its catch rate is very, very high. Okay, there's Sleep Powder again, thank you. And it actually hit this time. Let's hope it stays asleep. I'm not really sure what that Spinarak can do to me. Maybe confusion or something? Not really sure. Let's see. Nightshade. Actually, that's somewhat dangerous. If that targets Skiploom, yep, that's a KO, because that does damage equal to your level, and that thing's level 33. I had 30 HP left. Well, at least Skiploom did her job. The Remoraid is asleep. Let's just hope it doesn't wake up too quickly. Now, Quagsire is excellent in these next 2 fights. For certain reasons. Remoraid is still asleep. Let's see if I can catch it. It has a very high catch rate. I'm surprised I haven't caught it yet. But let's just squash that Spinarak too. This battle is an interesting example of a Shadow Pokemon snag that's quite difficult, but for different reasons than we've encountered so far. Just the sheer lowness of its level. 1. Really? Anyway, I should hopefully get that thing caught soon. Please don't wake up. Oh, look, it's this move. Yeah, this move will get buffed severely in Generation 7, but at this point in the series, it's incredibly weak. I'd actually classify it as one of the worst damaging moves in the game, probably second worst next to Constrict. Only 15 power, and I think only like 15 or even 10 PP. And it does have a draining effect, but with a move that weak, I mean, how much HP are you going to drain out of that? Usually only about 1 or 2. It's a pretty awful move. 1, 2, 3... Remoraid gets. Remoraid is only level 20. It's sad, really, because rather than talking about Remoraid on its own merits, I'm forced to mention how its starting level severely hampers its usefulness to any Colosseum playthrough. Level 20 is lower than anything you fight during this game's main storyline, and normally it would be salvageable, but the fact that Shadow Pokemon don't level up until they're purified means Remoraid is not going to be contributing to battles in any meaningful way for the entirety of its heart gauge. And it's actually not that quick to purify either. So if you do end up using Remoraid, it's gonna be pretty much useless until it's purified. But does it have some kind of amazing Magikarp power if you stick with it? Well, kind of. Remoraid evolves into Octillery, which is a very interesting Pokemon. It's got great attacking stats in both physical and special, and unlike many Pokemon, it actually has the move pool to make use of that. In fact, Octillery's move pool is almost scary. Learning a lot of great moves, both physical and special, including many moves you'd never expect a pure water type to have, like Psychic or Flamethrower. It is quite slow. Remoraid is one of the few Pokemon out there that actually loses a lot of speed on evolution. But its HP and defenses aren't bad. Remoraid is also the first Pokemon we're encountering to have a different ability in its unevolved and evolved states. Unevolved, it has the Hustle ability, which raises the power of physical moves by 1.5 times, but lowers accuracy by 20%. This means that a move that normally has 100% accuracy would have 80%. So it's a flat 20 rather than actually a percentage of their existing accuracy. Hustle is not that great on Remoraid though, as it doesn't learn very many physical moves. I guess it does work with Shadow Rush, and you can combine it with Lock-On to negate the accuracy penalty, but at only level 20, it's not going to be hitting very hard. On evolution, the ability becomes Suction Cups, which makes Octillery immune to forced switch-out moves like Roar and Whirlwind. Actually, only Roar and Whirlwind. This ability makes Octillery a fantastic recipient for Baton Pass chains in multiplayer battles, but in single player its uses are very situational. Overall, Remoraid is a Pokemon that I'd recommend grinding for later rather than using now, because it's pretty terrible until purified. Which is a shame because Octillery is a really cool Pokemon and I wish it was easier to use in this game. And she replaces it with something that's not much better despite being over 10 levels higher. Yeah, Love Disc is one of the worst Pokemon in existence, but at least it's good for farming heart scales. And down goes... I actually feel really bad for Spinarak in this fainting animation. But yeah, that Love Disc is probably not going to last long. Seems like Ref likes to use Agility on her Pokemon, not that it's really going to help her much. And of course I'd Hyper Mode. Thankfully no double Hyper Mode this time. And Love Disc is pretty pathetic, so you know what? I'd love to see you use Water Gun on Quagsire, that'd be amazing. Firstly though, let's just call you out of it. Need to get a little bit more heart gauge up. That's not quite 3 bars, I think. Takedown. That was a critical hit. Yeah, that should pretty much sum up how bad Love Disc is. And how fitting that Forest's taken 2 critical hits from pathetically weak Pokemon so far. Okay, so that's the first battle down. Me losing Skiploom, though, I'm pretty sure you don't get healed between these 2 fights. And yeah, obviously it is 2 fights because we've got 2 Mirror B peons here. Losing Skiploom might cause me issues in the second one. Because the second fight, well, I'll just say it here, also has a Shadow Pokemon. We didn't have any during the building itself, but up on the roof, we've got 2 in a row. We're not exactly Dewking's bodyguards, we're more like freelance Shadow Pokemon saviors. Firma, I'm not really sure what her name's partner's supposed to be, but she's got a Mantine and an Apom. Given how this game's going, either one of those could be a Shadow Pokemon. But considering her comrade had a Shadow Water type, it should be kind of obvious which of these is the Shadow. Yes, it's the Mantine. So Mantine is a trickier snag because it's a lot bulkier, has a higher level, it's a bit bigger of a threat, has a lower catch rate. Actually, Mantine has one of the lowest catch rates of anything that we've encountered so far, if I'm remembering right. Now, using special moves, even from Espeon against Mantine is fine. Mantine's special defense is absolutely huge. So, even with a critical hit, we're not going to be doing much to it. So, one of the few Shadow Pokemon that I actually want to use Espeon's Confusion against. Kind of want to take out Apom too. Both of these trainers like using Agility. And Mantine is using Sdw Beam, which I think looks pretty cool in this game. And it's hitting pretty hard. Mantine's special attack isn't amazing, but it is same type attack bonus, and Bubble Beam is a fairly strong move for the standards at this point. Yeah, I'm not going to go for the Snag Ball right now. I don't think I have any revives to bring back Skiploom, though, which is going to be pretty bad. Yeah, I've completely forgotten what I have with me. Whether I have Flaffy to use Thunder Wave. But anyway, there's Astonish. Does have a chance of flinching, but it's still a pretty pathetic move. Another Bubble Beam. Who's this coming out at? Probably Forward again? Yeah, Forward again. I should probably switch Forward out. In fact, if I switch Forward to Quagsire, that'd be a pretty nice play. Actually, definitely should switch Forward out now. What are you doing, me? Pass me, why are you dumb? At least the AI is kind of smart enough to use that against Psychic types, but still, it's a pretty weak move. Continuing to beat down this Mantine a bit. Definitely want to weaken it a lot before we try and snag it. I think if you fail to snag these two Shadow Pokemon, you do get another chance. And yeah, I pay for keeping Forward in. I definitely should have switched out. Forward didn't even get to do anything thanks to its lowered speed. I was kind of dumb, and for some reason the video skipped ahead a bit. I do have Flaffy, nice. Okay, so I'm probably going to Thunder Wave that Mantine. And yay, Flappy has regained Thunder Shock, the exact move I don't want to be using against Mantine. At full health, it'd definitely survive, but at this point, there's a possibility that it might go down to it due to being quad weak to it. Crit, yeah, that's been getting quite a bit of crit hacks against me in this battle. Thankfully, we get a chance to heal right after this, because it's only these 2 fights in a row. Wow, I've lost half my team already. I probably should have gone with Quagsire, but guess I'm going with Umbreon. Just because Quagsire has a chance of abusing the AI with Water Absorb. Because the AI doesn't exactly know how to handle that ability, as you've seen in the last part. Holy, that hurt a lot, wow. That wasn't even a critical hit. But at least Flaffy did her job. She's got Thunder Wave on this thing. Thunder Wave does have an advantage over Sleep moves in that, I've said it before, but Paralysis will never wear off. Does give less of a catch modifier, but I guess I'm kind of sacrificing Flaffy here. Yeah, it is beneficial for the fact that it won't wear off, and kind of want to get rid of that Apom, even though Umbreon's Bite probably won't KO. Now, you definitely want to be using Great Balls against Mantine. Its catch rate is so low that you don't want to be bothering Pokeballs. Okay, 1. Nope. Yeah, even Great Balls don't really have much odds of catching this thing. Well, at least Astonish is not going to be doing very much. See, it's weird. Like, the AI is smart enough not to use that against the Dark type, so seems like they know weaknesses and resistances decently well, but not immunities, which is kind of weird. You'd think that immunities would be the first thing you'd focus on teaching the AI. But yeah, at this point, it's pretty much just spam Great Balls. I probably will need to restock Great Balls soon, although actually I believe you find some in the next area. Or maybe you find something even better. I think you find at least Great Balls or Ultra Balls in the next area. Wait, 2, 3... Nope! Breaking out on 3 is always frustrating. This could potentially go on for a while. Okay, but Apom is down at least. Now let's see what she's going to send in to replace it. Forret! No, you took out my Forret, now you're using one of your own. Okay, I'm pretty lucky with Paralysis here. Normally I wouldn't count on that, but she's got... Yeah, she has... Actually... Yeah, she does have 4 Pokemon in total, and she's got 3 left because that Darkened Ball is Mantine, which is statused. And I'm probably going to go ahead and... I do have a Revive. I probably don't need it at this point, though. Mantine is safely statused. I want to get rid of that Forret, though, because it could be hitting pretty hard. And once again, using up Umbreon's turn to use the Snag Ball, because Umbreon's not really going to be doing all that much. That is an advantage that Umbreon has. 1, 2, 3... Mantine gets! Okay, that's good. The main notable thing about Mantine is its gargantuan special defense stat. To put it into perspective, Mantine has the same special defense as Kyogre. It's let down a little bit by its subpar HP, And Mantine's offenses aren't great, but it can be a pretty decent special tank for this point in the game. Just only have it use special attacking moves. Physical moves, it's got a base 40 attack stat, which is awful. Being water flying, watch out for electric moves, but because they're all inherently special in this generation, Mantine will probably survive most of them from full health thanks to its huge special defense stat. Both of its abilities are decent, but I'd probably recommend Water Absorb, because Mantine's more of a defensive Pokemon. Swift Swim helps offensive ones more. Mantine's moves that it gains on increasing the heart gauge are not that great, honestly. Bubble Beam is really the only worthwhile one. The other problem with Mantine is it doesn't get Surf in this game. Since there are no HMs, if a Pokemon doesn't start with Surf, it will never have Surf. So Mantine is stuck with a base 65 power move for its same type attack bonus, which is not all that amazing. And both its level up and its TM move pools aren't really that great either. So, Mantine is let down by quite a few things, but its sheer special defense stat definitely gives it a good niche if you want to use it. And Yanma. Oh, you're using one of your earlier Comrade Shadow Pokemon. I wasn't going to be hitting with physical moves anyway, that's fine. I guess I can try and Thundershock the Yanma if I wanted to, but I don't know if... Actually, Fluffy probably will survive long enough to use that. I'm doubling up on that Yanma, probably knowing that it's so frail. Now, knowing the AI, you're probably going to combo that with a non-attacking move. Or a move that does fixed damage and so doesn't benefit from Helping Hand anyway. Nice job, AI. Nice job. I mean, I'm glad that the AI is kind of stupid in situations like this, but still. Yeah, Umbreon not dealing very much damage, but it's its staying power that's important. Not that that really helps against a fixed damage move by Sonic Boom, but I'm fine with the AI continuing to use fixed damage moves so long as they're boosting them with Helping Hand, because that's completely wasting their Helping Hand. That was worth a pretty nice amount of experience, too. Yeah, something to mention is that you'll be leveling up a bit slower in Colosseum than you normally would in a Pokemon game. Because all the battles are double battles, every amount of experience you gain is going to be halved and shared, well, at the very least halved, and shared between... I was kind of thinking that maybe I could have stolen Helping Hand, but didn't get a chance to. But, yeah, you'll have the experience at least halved and shared between all the Pokemon in the battle. If you switch out between multiple ones, you'll have the experience shared even further. Now, actually, no, it can't. For some reason, I was thinking that Thurret could have the Limber ability. In this generation, I don't think it can. In fact, I'm not sure if it can have Limber at all. I think I'm thinking of Linoon. I think Limber is Linoon's second ability. Anyway. Thundershock is, well, I was about to say it's hitting harder than I thought it would, but it's still not hitting very hard. I'm getting insanely lucky with Paralysis in this fight, and I won't question that. Kind of thinking at this point that Shadow Rush might be doing a bit more. Okay, I should be taking the Thurret down this turn. Paralyzing it robbed it of its one good stance speed, so it's pretty much gone now. And that is, I'm pretty sure that's gone. No, it just barely survived. Yeah, I knew it did because it played out the full going back to its place animation, but not like it's going to get a chance to actually do anything. Oh well, I lied, it's going to use Quick Attack. Well, good job on Flaffy for surviving that. I was fully prepared to have Flaffy faint in this fight too. Yeah, see, the full animation didn't play there, which means that it fainted. And with that, we have defeated Mirror B's two other peons, who sadly aren't as popular as Folly and Trudley, because these two didn't return in XD. And once again, the enemies run away. With the Ultra Super Fire Dash, despite them being water specialists. But anyway, let's help this guy up. Yes, we definitely do. He kind of put us up to this. Yeah, no, you're gonna have to wait. Meanwhile, Villain taunting Screen. He seemed to know exactly when we were here. He probably has some kind of camera. Okay, that's disturbing. So, Mirror B is in the cave. And we saw a cave exit earlier. Also, yeah, there's an iron file for us on that table. Iron file S, this one probably, it's a Shadow Pokemon. Kinda surprised we didn't get this one first. Well, thankfully she has a bodyguard now, so she should be safe for the time being. But yeah, going down here gives us a pretty nice shortcut back to the start of this area. And a shortcut back to the roof when we want to. Wait a minute. Actually, I don't think... Yeah, no, wait, this does go back to the roof because we can grab this item here. We have to open it from the front. Hyper Potion. Pretty nice. Might want to save those. But we can now unlock this door, and now we can use the elevator to head to the roof whenever we want. Actually, no, we can't, because it doesn't open from this side. So we have to take the stairs every time we want to go back up to the roof, which is unfortunate. Yeah, me doing post-commentary, sometimes I don't remember the little details like this, but at least we have a shortcut from the roof back down to the healing machine. Because our next stop is the cave. And I might want to shuffle around my Pokemon a little bit. And check out the new Shadow Pokemon we gained. We've got Remoraid here. Only level 20 though, so... It's unfortunately not going to be all that good of a pick at this point in the game. I'd kind of recommend purifying Remoraid later on, when easier ways to purify Pokemon are available, rather than actually using it in battles now. Let's see how far it's going. Careful now, that's a pretty bad one for Forward if I'm remembering right. Flaffy is almost done. And Quagsire is completely done, so both my water types are fully purified. Let's see who I decide to use at this point. Flaffy's almost finished. Yeah, I guess I decide to rotate Flaffy out. Who else? I should probably keep Furret, because Furret has a little bit to go, and Furret has a pretty high heart gauge as well. Noctowl... Yeah, Noctowl still has quite a while to go. I should probably take Noctowl, yeah, and that's what I'm going to do. And as for who else... Wait, am I not deciding to take Noctowl? I don't know. Oh no, please tell me I'm not taking Slugma. Well, I mean, I have to purify it sometime. Might as well. And I guess if it gets Flamethrower, then that's kind of useful. There's a lot of water types available, actually. Probably makes taking Croconaw not as good of a choice, given how many water types you get early on. And maybe I should bring Yanma for a little bit. So is this who I decide to go with? Yeah, I probably... Wait a minute, am I swapping out Skiploom, or am I not? Turns out I'm not, okay. Guess I just really wanted Sleep Powder. Okay, so time to get back up onto the roof. There's one more thing we have to do before we can enter the cave. And I need to make sure my Pokemon are in order for this. Also, I probably want a Sleep User in the front of the party again. Once again, you can probably tell why. We only had one Shadow Pokemon in the last episode, now we've got 3 in once. So we're actually battling this guy now, and for some reason we jump off the building and battle in the streets. I always found that kind of weird. But yeah, we've got Qwilfish and Goldeen here. So, after I send out my Pokemon, you can probably tell what's coming. That Qwilfish is a Shadow Pokemon, so we need to catch it. The Goldeen is unlikely to be much of a threat, but the Qwilfish has a pretty decent attack stat and is probably going to be hitting quite hard with Shadow Rush. So might want to... Okay, that's not good. Getting a critical right off the bat. And a crit, and I also get Poison Point. 2 unlikely things happening in the same turn. And again, Shadow Rush. This is probably going to hit pretty hard. Yeah, that hits for a pretty good amount of damage. Qwilfish is fairly strong. Of course, I missed with Sleep Powder again. Maybe to have more luck with Noctowl. And I get hit with Supersonic. Yeah, this has been just one turn of very weird luck. Now, what do I end up doing here? I probably should Sleep Powder again, or Mega Drain. Maybe I should Mega Drain the Goldeen. I'll probably want to put the Qwilfish to sleep, though. Let's see. I guess I'm just using Quick Attack to kind of chip away at this thing's health, because it's weaker than Shadow Rush, even with same type attack bonus. Oh no, not Minimize. Okay, I'm going to give up on hitting with Sleep Powder now. Especially through confusion. Yeah, I should probably just flat out give up on that. Well, at least you didn't confuse both of us. But yeah, minimize plus confusion. I'm gonna try, but I doubt I was gonna be successful. Let's just hope that I catch it out right here, although with a Pokeball, I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, regular Pokeballs just aren't that great for the vast majority of this game. Even early on, you have access to Great Balls immediately. 1. Yeah, I thought so. They're really only good for just spamming in large numbers or as a last resort. Okay, I actually did forget something though. Minimize doesn't sharply raise your evasion in this game. It only raises your evasion by 1. Well, I guess Mud Sport is more effective than Water Sport for a water type. Mud Sport actually affects the entire field, so anybody being targeted by electric... Well, the entire opponent side of the field, I'm pretty sure, so either of them being targeted by electric moves will do half damage. Not that that's really important, because I'm not going to want to hit Quillfish with an electric move. Okay, if this crits, it... well, missed anyway. And Surf. Now, Quillfish's special attack is terrible, so this is probably not going to be doing all that much damage. Still was enough to KO Skiploom, though. Probably good, though, putting me out of my misery of trying to use Sleep Powder. I highly doubt Sleep Powder will hit at this point. But yeah, it's only a single evasion boost from Minimize, so... it's not completely out of the question, Sleep Powder hitting, but through confusion and 2 Minimizers, I highly doubt it. Okay, Yanma did not get purified very much from being sent out at all. That's not good. Let's just hope you like being called. Yanma's female too. I've got quite a few females, actually. Granted, being able to breed Yanmas at this point in the series wouldn't be that great because it didn't evolve. Yeah, Yanma's not really the best at anything except speed. I mean, it did get banned from Little Cup, though. Because its stats are obviously way too high by the standards of unevolved Pokemon. Yeah, I kind of feel like Little Cup should have had a rule. Any Pokemon that was fully evolved at one point, but gained an evolution in a later generation, is banned. Because almost all of them ended up being on Little Cup's ban list. Things like Scyther, Misdreavus, Murkrow... they're all clearly just not designed to be unevolved Pokemon, so they just break Little Cup severely badly. 1. Yeah, I thought that'd break out immediately. Minimizing again. Thankfully, that doesn't reduce the catch rate to Pokeballs, because that'd be really annoying. There was that stupid system back in Gen 1 where Pokeballs could miss Pokemon entirely. Except, actually, like, at first I thought that was, yeah, thinking about that now... oh, Survive on 1 HP here is not going to be, that effective because we died to poison anyway. But yeah, at first I thought that Gen 1 had this unique mechanic where Pokeballs could sometimes miss. Actually, that wasn't true. That was just a feature of the catch rate formula. If the number rolled for the catch rate formula was really, really bad, it just says that the ball misses the Pokemon entirely. In later generations, rolling a really bad number for a catch rate just results in them breaking out on the first shake. So it's actually the same mechanic, it's just the text works differently. I noticed that legendary Pokemon in Gen 1 tended to dodge Pokeballs a lot, but 1, 2, nope. But that was probably an aspect of their very low catch rates. Okay, this could be bad. I don't want you... oh, that's really bad, getting a crit, because that's going to mean a lot of recoil damage for you. Please don't recoil yourself. Okay, you still have a little bit to go. This is also why putting Shadow Pokemon to sleep is good, so they don't recoil themselves to death for Shadow Rush. Hey, level 30, nice. Okay, Confuse Ray is a decent move for Umbreon. I'm probably going to go ahead and teach that. I'm guessing I get rid of Snatch. Because Secret Power is decent for weakening. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of Snatch. I mean, I had that cool moment with Snatch earlier, but it's really not all that useful in this game. I'm probably going to get more use out of Confuse Ray overall. Linoon. Nice, I like Linoon. I mean, I do wish it kept its more raccoon look from Zigzagoon, but Linoon is still cool. I like it mainly for its... I mean, I generally don't like Pokemon based on design, more just purely for stats, but in the case of Zigzagoon and Linoon, I do like Zigzagoon's design a bit more. 1. Of course not. This is taking a while. But yeah, speaking of Zigzagoon and Linoon, apparently they're not even supposed to be raccoons. They're apparently like eastern pandas or something. But they look so much like raccoons that I call them raccoons anyway. Speaking of which, I looked up raccoons recently, and I couldn't find out what animal they were most related to. They look quite feline, but I'm not entirely sure how related they are to cats. They definitely look more feline than canine. But maybe they are more related to bears. Anyway, let's keep trying. Wonder if I cave and use a Great Ball eventually. 1, 2, 3... Qwilfish get! Rounding out our trio of water types, yeah, they're making things pretty bad for those who picked Croconaw earlier, but it's Qwilfish. Qwilfish is a bit unique in that it's a water poison type, which isn't really the best typing in the world, especially seeing as you gain a weakness to ground and psychic, and the only water weakness you take away is grass. Qwilfish's stats aren't great, but it leans towards being a physical attacker, which means it likes Sludge Bomb being physical in this gen. Of its abilities, I definitely recommend Swift Swim more than Poison Point, just because Qwilfish can actually be kind of a decent sweeper in rain. At least for this point in the game. As for the moves it has access to, if you want to gamble, it does have Minimize. As I've said in this video though, it doesn't sharply increase your evasion in this generation, it only raises it by 1 stage. Poison Sting, you're honestly better off hoping they poison themselves on your Poison Point ability than using this. And Surf. Hey, a water type finally gets Surf again. Unfortunately, it's coming from a really bad special attack stat, so I would not recommend using this too seriously. As far as other moves go, Qwilfish can learn Shadow Ball by TM, and it being physical is pretty beneficial. Also, if you are using Qwilfish, I would highly recommend teaching Sludge Bomb. As I've said before, it makes good use of that physical same type attack bonus. Qwilfish also comes with a Poison Barb to further increase the power of Sludge Bomb by 10%, or other poison type moves. Not that you'd use any besides Sludge Bomb. Overall, I find Qwilfish yet another mediocre Generation 2 Pokemon, but it is fairly okay for this point in the game, and it is probably one of the better Sludge Bomb users in this game. And that was your, yeah, you don't have any more Pokemon than this. Linoon just flies back really far whenever it gets hit, which is kind of funny when they hurt itself in confusion. The hurting yourself in confusion animations in this game are kind of silly in a lot of cases. Especially the Pokemon that just fly backwards wildly whenever they get hit. There, let's quickly finish you off. Of course, Hyper Mode. Well, I guess I can test if Yanma likes being called. I might show a chart sometime of which methods of purification certain natures like better. The reason why I'm not showing it just yet is there are a couple of purification methods that we don't have access to yet, and I don't really want to spoil them. So I probably will talk about it once we reach a certain town, which is actually the next... Oh, you really like calling. Okay, that's great. See what I mean when I said that Confusion would probably be more useful to me than Snatch overall? I mean, a 50% chance of causing the target to not attack for a turn is actually really decent. And unlike Supersonic, Confuse Ray has perfect accuracy. I mean, Confusion got, well, not Confusion in general, but Swagger got banned from Smogon for a reason. It really is that annoying. Really? Having your Pokemon stolen from you is fun? I question your life choices. Well, at least this guy seems to be a pretty decent person among the ranks of Cypher. Just realized that it actually says Pokemon dollars, not Poké dollars. Most later things would localize that as Poké dollars. Now, I should probably go back to heal right now. Pass me, do you do that? Let's see. Yeah, you're definitely doing that. Actually, I want to just say something right here. I don't continue further into Pyrite Cave in this recording session. What I actually ended up doing was, now that we have 6 Pokemon, we can actually battle Justy. So, what I ended up doing is going back to fight him. However, I don't think I'm going to be showing that in this video. Reason being, Justy, well, I found out the very, very, very hard way. You are really not meant to fight Justy at this point. His levels are in the low 40s. You really want to wait until a bit later to battle him. So, I'm actually going to cut the video out here. I'm going to show my failed take of fighting Justy when I actually fight him for real in a much later episode. So, for now... Oh, I'm actually going to go to the outskirts center to restock Pokeballs. I had a feeling I did this eventually. Might as well keep showing this, but yeah. I went to battle Justy, and I will be cutting that out here. I'll be showing my actual footage of that failure later. Because I feel that it'll be best to contain all my failures to Justy in one part. So, let's go ahead and buy some more Pokeballs. You definitely want a lot going into this next area. Because coming up semi-soon is our first quote-unquote boss Shadow Pokemon. I guess I should, yeah, always buy Pokeballs in groups of 10. So we get a free Premier Ball. Nice. But definitely stocking up on more Great Balls. So with that, I'm probably going to cut this part now. And as of recording the post-commentary here, I'm not entirely sure whether or not I end up doing more of Pyrite Cave in this video, or... I mean, actually go into Pyrite Cave in this video, or... ending it here. So I guess you'll find out now.